Hey guys, so I'm out here on the campaign trail. This is, of course, Stacy Rogers running for governor of Kansas. And so I wanted to stop for a minute and talk about one of the platform issues that I have that I'm bringing it up because I get asked about it. However, I want to make sure that I'm clear about it, that it is a something that's very important to people, but in my opinion, there are other things that we need to be focusing on and giving a lot of our attention to, including our Supreme Court issue, property taxes, land grabs, our constitutional rights to bear arms. There's a lot of other, our schools. There's a lot of other issues that need to be paid attention to. But I'm going to address this because I've been asked multiple times, and I just want to make sure that I'm very clear on what my position is. So in case somebody comes out and says it's something else, or somebody quotes me and tries to make it look like I'm saying something different, I want to make sure that I'm clear right here so we can point back to this. So I get asked a lot about abortion and what my stance is on that. And as I say on my website, I am for all life. So I am for the unborn. I am for protecting children. I'm for protecting disabled, and I'm for protecting our elderly. All people are valuable and important, and we need to protect the more vulnerable people of our state even more, simply because the unborn doesn't have a voice. Children shouldn't have a voice in this, as far as they're still developing. There need to be people that are adults that are speaking for them correctly. And then the disabled and our elderly are often manipulated and abused as well. And so we need to be protecting our vulnerable parts of our population. And so, and of course, the unborn has no voice at all. So, am I pro-life? Yes, I am 100% pro-life. One of the things that comes into question a lot is, how do I feel about moms who are their life is in danger, and also cases of rape and incest. So those are very difficult conversations to have, and they're not things that actually occur as often as maybe other people would like for you to think. So it's not like 99% of the abortions are because of life of the mother or rape and incest. In fact, it's a very, very small percentage of the total amount of abortions that are performed in Kansas on a yearly basis. And so when we're looking at those very specific cases, my position is these are things that should be determined by a doctor, not at an abortion clinic, but your doctor that you are having a conversation with, that knows you, that knows your history, that knows your body, and you can have a common sense conversation with, to determine what is the appropriate action for the life of yourself, for the life of your child, and what is the best option. So there are medical reasons to for that life of the mother, that babies are taken early all the time, whether they are delivered and early and hope they survive because they're very small, or whether they are closer to term and they're delivered early. So this is not a out of the blue question. These things of life of the mother happen all the time for nearly full term or full term pregnancies. And so I don't think that conversation should be any different when we're talking about life of the mother earlier on in pregnancy. So, but I am for all life. There are children who are born taken early for the life of the mother, to give that child also the best chance of surviving. And so all of those factors need to be taken into account. In the case of rape and incest, it becomes a little trickier. And the reason that I say that is because there is a child or an older child involved with this, obviously a child has to be of age to bear a child. So, we're talking 10, 11, 12 and up. Then we're in the realm of this child is a child herself. And that's a decision that will follow her for the rest of her life, whether she brings that child to term, whether she terminates that pregnancy, whether she gives that child up for adoption. And there have been lots of studies and or lots of conversations with people that were born of rape, that their mothers gave birth to them due to rape, and they're very happy to be here. And so again, that child is the innocent person in all of this. And in the case of rape and incest, so is the mother. And so it becomes a question of, do we compound trauma on the mom? And do we compound trauma on the mom by her having an abortion at a young age, and then later understanding what she actually did and having deep regrets and trauma from that? So we've doubled the trauma. Versus bringing the child to term and the trauma that will be incurred through that process as well. So I don't believe that there is a good answer to that particular question, and again, should be addressed by a physician, your physician, and dealt with on a one-on-one case basis, not just a blanketed decision one way or the other. So that's kind of my stance on that. I want to make sure that people understand that that's where I sit. I will not change that stance because I believe that there are some extenuating circumstances in which that have to be looked at. But the majority of abortions could be prevented. The pregnancies could be prevented from the get-go, and we need to be taking personal responsibility for our actions instead of relying on something like abortion to handle our responsibilities. We need to be prepared for the consequences of engaging in an act that could produce a child, and to be responsible for that in the process. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and God bless.